So in times like these, when, almost 35% of the country is unemployed and some people are wondering where they're going to get their next meal from, and some people are wondering how they're going to be able to pay their rent or things like that, I think it's always fun to look at how much money billionaires make, or maybe just millionaires. What do you think? Let's take a look at what some of the richest people in football make today. This came to mind because I've been really harping on what's going to happen in the future with these salary caps, and of course Cam Newton trying to find a job and Jadeveon Clowney. It just makes me think about how much money these guys make. I mean, you can't fathom. Look, I make a decent amount of money. I'm very, very lucky. I've been very, very lucky my entire life. I have never made $18 million in a year. I've never made that. I don't even know what that feels like. Like, what does it feel like to make $24 million in a year? What does it feel like to make $10 million in a year? I can tell you what it feels like to make, a lot of money. You make $500,000 in a year. I tell you this, you make $500,000 in a year, you think to yourself, wow, I have so much money, I could do anything I want. If you're making $5 million a year, that's every year you're going to make $5 million. What are you going to do with it? I don't understand. So what it feels like, but let's go. You look at that and you think about like Mike Tyson. I'm watching the Mike Tyson documentary the other day, and Mike Tyson at one point made over $440 million in his career, and he was broke. It's crazy to me. Anyway, so let's go take a look right now at some of the highest paid players. This is the cash they will receive this year. So this is salary and bonuses. A lot of times when you hear about somebody having a certain amount of a cap hit, that cap hit could be part of a structured salary as well as some of their bonus money that's been allocated. So let's just say your bonus was $10 million, but your bonus is spread out over 5 years. So you get $2 million a year, or however they structure it. They'll structure it a different amount of times in different years. But if I cut you today and you were owed $8 million still off of that signing bonus that should have been prorated over the next 4 years, it all comes due today. So you look at a guy like Antonio Brown, who last year did not play for the Steelers and did not play for the Raiders and did not play for the Patriots, and got paychecks from all three teams because they were all prorated signing bonuses that were due over the course of X amount of time, and he was cut from all three teams. I think Antonio Brown made like $30 million last year or $38 million last year and didn't play but like 7 snaps. Let's look at who's actually going to make money this year from actually playing, and we'll go over the top 15 on the way down. Laramie Tunsil just signed a great deal, left tackle for the Houston Texans. He is probably be the 8th or 9th best tackle in football, but is somehow the highest paid. This year he'll make almost $24 million. Tunsil is best known for, on draft day, 2 or 3 hours before the draft, a video being released of him taking giant ripping bong hits while wearing a gas mask. So that paid off for him, obviously. Teddy Bridgewater is going to make $24 million this year. Drew Brees is going to make $25 million. Ironically, Bridgewater was Brees' backup last year and will make only $1 million less. Tom Brady signed a quote-unquote team-friendly deal of $25 million. Phillip Rivers signed the same deal for 1 year. Jimmy Garoppolo, who used to back up Tom Brady, is making, ironically, again with the bitter irony, $25,200,000. It's an odd number to throw in there, right? Byron Jones is actually tied with Ben Roethlisberger for $26 million. Jones just signed a huge deal coming from the Cowboys to the Dolphins. That is an enormous amount of money for a cornerback. An enormous amount of money. Jones is probably in the top 10. Jones is one of the biggest surprises, but Frank Clark is easily my biggest surprise in here. Who knew Frank Clark was making almost $30 million this year? I mean, he's an incredibly above average player, but $30 million for a defensive end? $28.4 million. I'm sorry. I don't mean to exaggerate and say 30. Like I said, at some point it just becomes like, how much money are you making? I couldn't even fathom it. Jared Goff, who is an incredibly average quarterback, maybe below average at some points, $31 million this year. Amazing. Dak Prescott, who just signed a franchise, or didn't sign yet, but if he were to sign his franchise tag, would make $31 million $409. That is insane money. And it, by the way, hasn't signed it yet because he doesn't think it's enough. He's like, nah, I think I deserve more than that. $31 million sounds like garbage. That is more money than you will make in your lifetime, by the way. But he won't take it for 1 year. Ryan Tannehill just signed a huge deal. Earned himself a huge deal. You know, last year, Ryan Tannehill started off the season not even having a job. He was a backup quarterback. Got traded to Tennessee thinking, oh, my God, my career might be over. Had a really decent year last year. Really decent year. Fit really well with what they were doing. His best attribute, in my opinion, is his legs. Guy's able to scramble, make himself extra yards when he needs to. $37.5 million is what that gets you. Plus, I tell you something else about Ryan Tannehill. Easily top 5 hottest wife in the NFL. His wife is a smoke show. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. I was living in Miami at the time whenever they drafted him. And they drafted him, and on draft night, there was a video going around that was like Ryan Tannehill sitting next to this girl, and everybody who I was sitting with, I owned a bar at the time, and I was watching the draft at my bar with a bunch of people, and everybody around was like, who is that girl? Who is that girl? And that goes back to the Moneyball conversation of, well, if he doesn't have a good-looking girlfriend, he's probably not a very good player. To me, I think if you see a quarterback who doesn't have a hot wife, he's not a very good quarterback. Ryan Tannehill has a chance to be a superstar. Carson Wentz, $39.3 million. What a strange number, too. So, like, Prescott's number's weird because he gets the average of the top 5 quarterbacks. But Carson Wentz's number is $39,383,000. Very strange. Number 2, Kirk Cousins. By the way, no shape or form is this a top list of quarterbacks or players. Looking at your top 5 right now. I don't know. Russell Wilson's a top 5 quarterback to me. The rest of these guys, no, not really. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has got the best agent in football. I mean, Kirk Cousins this year is going to make $40 million. Kirk Cousins. Something that people forget about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was drafted in the same draft as RG3. Wasn't just drafted in the same draft as RG3. He was drafted on the same team as RG3. RG3 was the number 3 overall pick. Shanahan didn't really love RG3, but the owner did. So in the 4th round, Shanahan picked, you guessed it, Kirk Cousins. He said, that's my quarterback of the future. And you know what? Shanahan was right. Kirk Cousins is a pretty decent quarterback, above average. $40 million? I don't know about that. Number 1 on the list in an amount of money that is just unbelievable. Like, it's such a huge amount of money that I can't even imagine making this in 1 year. In 1 year, $53 million. $53 million for Russell Wilson. That is absolutely insane. My name is John Todora. I am the sports trader. They call me that because a few years ago I quit my job. I sold my businesses, actually. I didn't even have a job. I sold my businesses and decided to take on an adventure, which led me to this right here. I now host a podcast and I'm just started this YouTube channel. And I actually teach people how to do what I do, which is I trade sports just like you trade stocks. It's very easy, actually. I created an investment method called ScoreMetrics. And ScoreMetrics actually looks at back-tested historical data and finds patterns inside the matrix that allow me to exploit what has happened in the past to find patterns that go with what's going on right now. No, I cannot pick the winner of every game, but I can find winning patterns. And in doing so, I invest my money just like I would invest in an Apple stock or a Google stock or in Chipotle stock or anything like that. And I've made myself a sizable living of doing this over the last few years. Such a good living, in fact, that I don't work. I don't do anything except this. And I just travel around the world with whomever I choose and have a good time. And currently right now, I'm actually broadcasting from Bangkok, Thailand. And next week I'll be taking off and heading back into Miami. And then I'm going to be in Pittsburgh, and then I'm going to be blah, blah, blah. This is what I do. I just travel around and have fun and enjoy myself. I got my camera, I got my computer, I got my laptop and my soundboard, and I got a couple lights I throw behind me. I do shows everywhere. I also do some public speaking and things like that, but that's just a little too much. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can go to sportstradingsystems.com. There's a link in the description down below. You guys can check that out, and you'll be seeing a lot more things going on here on the YouTube channel. By the way, I'm new to YouTube, so I keep forgetting to say this. If you're watching this video, if you've made it this far, I believe what the kids are saying is smash the like button. Just hit it. Hit the like button. Let me know you love me. All right? Thanks a lot, guys.